What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. This podcast is on the allthingscomedy.com website. And if you go to allthingscomedy.com, they have some of the most amazing comics. And if you look on the wall, you'll see Bill Burr, Bert Kreischer, Sam Tripoli, and there's people and names behind me. Let me see. I keep avoiding saying Brody because he's not here no more. Felipe Esparza. You get it. Go there, and there's podcasts with other great comics, and you could hear and listen to them all. We're just talking about The Dollop.
Yes.
The Dollop, and there's just a lot of amazing podcasts on this network, so come here and check it out. My podcast, The Soccer Comic Rant, could also be heard on iTunes, Libsyn, Stitcher, SoundCloud for sure. And you can also watch this if you are watching it on YouTube. And if you're listening to it, you can watch it on YouTube. Smash the like button. Leave comments on iTunes and all that. I heard that shit helps. I never really usually encourage it because I'm a terrible businessman. But be a better businessman than me and hook that up. The sponsor for the podcast is onthevolleyapparel.com. And if you go to onthevolleyapparel.com, yeah, there it is right there. It's tanks, tees, hoodies, and sweatshirts for men and women with soccer, hip-hop logos and emblems on the front. And they have a variety of styles. And my boy Elvis, who owns a company, will lace you up. And if you use my promo code ComicRant, you get 20% off. And thank you for the producer of the show, Aaron Brungard, for bringing that up. What's up, Brungard?
Hey, sorry.
I know I didn't tell you I was going to call you.
Yeah.
Thanks for helping out last week.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah, people enjoyed the episode, and your mom. She left a lot of compliments under there. So, or you, I don't know who you were pretending to be, but yeah. In the studio today, we should be really happy. He's
always happy.
Yeah, he should be. You're always happy, but he should be extra happy. We got Stuart Thompson. Thompson. Why am I messing
We're always
up?
on a first name basis.
Yeah, I always say just Stuart. And Chelsea fan, he should be happy as shit.
It's a pleasure to be here. Ian.
Comic, everything. Traveler. You were just in Asia.
Yeah, I was performing in Southeast Asia.
Dope.
Yeah, it was great. Got to perform in Singapore and Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia. It was a wonderful trip.
Damn.
Definitely would go back.
Oh, shit. I've never been to any of those places. I'm looking to get out there.
Highly recommend it, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. Singapore is a good starter country and I'll tell you why for Southeast Asia. Everyone speaks English for the most part.
Okay.
Trains run on time. It's super clean. No crime. So it's a nice sort of like way to like dip your toes in.
Was Singapore that country back in the day? Did Obama used to live in Singapore?
Obama?
That was somewhere else. Or was
he was in Indonesia.
Indonesia, my bad.
Which is very close.
Okay, so I'm not that stupid.
It's in the same region, yeah.
What about the country that kid did graffiti on the wall and he was going to get caned?
That was Singapore.
That was Singapore. All right,
yeah,
that's what.
Singapore does have some crazy rules. I think.
No wonder they have no crime.
Yeah, like one of them is like no.
You spit,
gum.
you die.
Yeah, like you can't spit. And like littering's is like a big crime. So like, I think that's because it's such a small country. I think they can have such strict rules.
Okay.
But everyone's super sweet there, and in all the countries that we went to, everyone was really nice. And but yeah, there's definitely more of a chaotic element in some of the other cities we went to, like Bangkok.
I mean, you have to live up to the name Bangkok.
I mean, yeah, it's like the city from the movie Blade Runner.
Right.
It's pure chaos, but it works
right.
for that city. And the Philippines is chaotic in its own way, but I will say I got to meet a lot of comics in that part of the world, and I will say the
Filipino comics
who spoke English and Tagalog, did jokes in both languages. I mean, they're trying to do jokes in English. Some of them are better at it than others, but they were, because my girlfriend and I were visiting, and we're from America. They're trying to show what they can do, and I will say they probably have the best timing and sense of humor of the countries we went to, because the Philippines has had such a rough history for centuries. They had the Spanish occupying there for a while. Then the U.S. was sort of.
So you think that gives them a
governing over
better
them.
comedy timing?
I think it's just it's a culture that's been shit on for in a lot of ways, and I mean that it just truthfully. I mean, they've had a tough go, and so from that comes great comedy.
Oh, it's from the pain of that.
Yeah, the pain of that, and I think a lot of cultures where like.
So thank you, European countries, for terrorizing the Philippines so that they could be funny. Appreciate that. Good,
it's honestly Spain, the U.S., and now China. So they've gotten the whole world's worth of getting kicked in.
None of these countries ain't shit to them.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
It was good to have you back, man. It's been a minute.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
I know you've been busy too, and
Yeah.
I'm glad you're touring around and killing it in other places too.
Yeah, I've been running around. I got some shows coming up out, which I'll talk about later. Should promote them at the front of the show. Who listens to the end of this thing?
You never know, man.
You never know. All right. Even though I brought it up, I still won't do it. So
You're a man of your word.
Man of show, very great at show business, man. I'm amazing at show business. So Premier League week 10, game week 10.
Week 10, man.
Happened, bro. And the biggest game of the week was Tottenham versus Liverpool. And, man, Liverpool did their thing.
Yeah.
Consummate professionals. They figured out a way. There's a little dubiousness towards the end as far as, like, Mane getting that penalty to make the score 2-1.
I think that's happened to Tottenham before. I could be wrong, but I've seen that moment where like a defender or a midfielder is winding up to kick, and then someone gets in between them and the ball right as they're about to kick, and then they end up kicking the guy.
Right.
It could have been another game.
And then the guy collapses.
Yeah.
As if somebody just ran a steel pole through their chest.
I mean, it can't feel great to get hit that hard.
But I also felt like Aurier, like right before he made contact, pulled back because he
saw what was up.
He saw what was up. Like he did, and Mane bought a penalty a few games earlier. So Mane is not allergic to diving.
No, he's not.
In things that don't contain water, he'll dive anywhere.
No,
he'll embellish.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He knows how to make it a show.
He knows improv. You know what I mean? That motherfucker will.
Yes, and
yeah.
Yes, and I'll fall down.
Yeah. Get down more than James Brown ever could. That motherfucker will go down. So yeah,
they throw the cape on him when he gets fouled.
Yeah. That's what they should have did. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. It's like, but then gets up right away. Once, I get the penalty.
All right,
I'm fine.
Yeah, calf is no longer pulled.
Yeah, my leg is no longer broken. Like a whistle, a card, and a penalty heals everything.
Yeah, man.
In Mane's world, but like to me, the score could have been worse if I'm gonna say his name incorrectly. Gazaniga.
No, I think you got it right.
The goalkeeper.
Yeah.
From Tottenham, who's replacing Courtois right now. Like
Courtois.
Lloris.
Lloris. Different French sounding goalkeeper.
Yeah, different French sounding goalkeeper who's not even French. Yeah.
Right.
But like I heard his name a lot.
Yeah.
Like
Gazaniga had work to do.
Yeah, he had work to do.
Yeah, no, it could have been a much crazier score sheet.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. I will say that Tottenham did a great thing of coming out hot early. I mean,
they did.
I mean, they scored a goal in the first minute.
40 something, yeah, in the 43rd minute or some shit.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
But I will say, I mean, there were multiple times during the game. You know, what led to that goal was Heung-min Son hitting the crossbar. He did it again later. I think in the second half.
Yeah.
And when he really had
Harry Kane wasn't there to put it in again like he was the first time. Like,
right.
Listen, we did this in practice. I hit the bar and you get the rebound and head it in. I'm doing it again in the second half. Yeah. Where are you?
On some and one mixtape logic.
Come on, man. You want to beat Liverpool?
Yeah, he had an open goal, and it was not a great angle, but it was not a terrible angle to score from. He scored from worse angles before, but yeah, I think he just put too much power behind it and hit the crossbar.
Yeah, I read Pele's autobiography, and he said never sacrifice accuracy for power, and this is like from one of the most finesse guys ever.
Yeah, no, That's a very.
I was shocked when he said that.
It's very sound wisdom.
Yeah. But so when I'm looking at this Liverpool team, I guess the things that I want to talk about is Henderson, because he scored the equalizer. And Henderson, when I first started seeing him play, and he played in the Gerrard era towards the end of it, and he was there when they almost won the league, when the Leicester coach was their coach. And
Brendan Rodgers. And
this guy who back then I was like, oh, this guy's going to be the next Gerrard. And then he had this fall off, where he wasn't as good for some reason. And then Klopp came in. And he is like kind of like Sterling to me, in a sense that he's on a team with a lot of internationals, like world-class players who are the best players from their country.
Yeah.
And he manages to start as an English player on this great team every week, like without it being a favor because I'll let him play because he's English. Like, he delivers.
Sure.
So just like Sterling is like number one on the call sheet in his position at Man City, like Henderson is doing a great job, and he scored, and he's true red. Yeah. He's true red. You know, he's been here. I guess he played for Sunderland first, but he's like true red. But here's the crazy thing. He's already won the Champions League.
Yep.
Right? So would this guy be greater than Steven Gerrard, who is the icon for modern day Liverpool, if he won the league and the Champions League? If they win this year, a title that they haven't won in 30 years.
Yeah.
Or probably ever since the Premiership. They've won it, before it was a Premiership. Would Henderson be that new? Would he take over from Gerrard's in people's hearts?
I don't know if he would take away, but I think they'd have to mark it as two different eras. Like, I mean, Gerrard was part of the era before, and I think especially if Liverpool wins it this year, wins the league this year, or even next year. But I think they're on track to win it this year.
I think they're on track to win it this year. They did what they had to do. I just wonder if the story of Henderson will change.
But it's interesting because the way Gerrard his memory, the memory of him in my mind is so ingrained, is like he was the hero. He was that guy who carried the team on his back.
Right. But he also made this one glaring mistake that everybody points to this season when they almost won. That slip against Chelsea, I think?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then there's that moment that is branded in your mind that
I just remember coming back 3-0 down in the Champions.
Yeah, I remember that too. I'll never want to forget that.
Milan. I mean, that's the bigger deal to me.
Right.
And I think there's a heroism to Gerrard that's going to remain in people's minds. And I think Henderson will be known as like the anchor of this team, but I don't think the heroism is as strong with him.
Right.
Like Van Dijk has more of that than he does.
Right.
Salah has it more than he does.
Right. Salah and them are biggest stars, but this guy's playing in a similar position, and he's English, so it just makes me want to just at least put that thought or ask that question out there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and because he could end up being more decorated than Gerrard.
Yeah, and he could. But I think it is possible to be more decorated as far as awards but not be
in people's hearts. Because the way Gerrard played, is the way you saw him as a person. Like the way he played, it was like, oh, I want to be how this guy is on the field as a person.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. So as a Man U fan, he was one of my favorite players. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he was a guy who he looked like he was working.
Yeah.
And he also scored some amazing
he did everything.
Kicks.
He defended, he crossed, he assisted, smart. He's creative, attacking, scoring, everything. Just he's fucking Dutch total football.
Yeah, I think
Dutch English.
I think Henderson and Klopp are better at delegating some of those tasks to other people, and Henderson just kind of guides the ship.
Well, Henderson's he runs just like Gerrard. He's all over the field.
Sure.
Yeah, but we'll see.
It was a great goal.
It was a great goal, and Salah scored the penalty that Mane created with his diving board skills. And the one weird thing, the two things that stood out about this game for me was the risky starting of Lovren when Gomez was on the bench, and Gomez came into the game earlier. Like I know you might have to rest people, and I know you might have to like put players in that are not as secure players as others, but not against, like, this is a risky game to start Lovren.
Yeah, against Tottenham would not be my first choice. I mean, I've heard other people talk about, like, unless the player asks, like, I need, like, the star player's like, I need a rest.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would have gone with Lovren.
Yeah, because then some of it was his fault. Like, he got in trouble a little bit, and some of it was like bad calls.
Sure.
But he definitely stood out as, okay, this is why we don't play Lovren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's also known he's made a note of being one with the attitude problem.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how I've noticed this in show business, but also as, like, in soccer, is like, if you're the one with the attitude problem, people just run away from you like the plague.
Well, I think Lovren wants respect. He did,
Yeah.
And he's like Rodney Dangerfield, like, hey, I went to the World Cup semifinals, and you're telling me I'm a shitty defender, and I went to the Champions League final the year against Liverpool, and I started. So and you guys are saying I fucked up every time. Like, whatever mistake Lovren makes is always magnified.
Yeah, he had a year. I think he magnified it more than everyone else did.
I don't know. The media, like, would always point it out. Like, when we beat them 2 years ago, it was like Lovren mistakes that day. And it's like, the funny thing about English commentators, they pick on the players more than the refs, as if the PA told them don't pick on the refs when the refs make glaring mistakes. So it's like, oh, he could have saved that. Nah, he couldn't have saved that. Or he should have made a better shot out of that chance. Nah, there was no time.
Yeah, I mean,
but this referee who's standing right over the play, the referee helped kick the player, and you're like, it's tough being a ref, man. It's hard to make these calls at the split of a second.
Yeah,
but a player's like, he's playing at the split of a second.
I would love to see English commentators be as direct as you were just now. Just like, they would be like, oh, he's having a dreadful day. Yeah. And they say he's having a dreadful. Oh, maybe he's just a bad ref all the time. Yeah. And then has anybody seen Dele Alli's form? Like, where did it go? Like, because it's gone like a pair of glasses. When with that injury?
Yeah.
Would have been great if his form was right on top of his head.
Yeah. It's like I got to play without him. I could see somewhat in front of me. Like, it's just, he was there.
This ball's blurry.
Yeah. The whole game's blurry for him. It's like,
Man, yeah, no, he is not effective right now.
Yeah, it's not effective. That's a perfect way to put it. He's not effective.
Yeah, and it's amazing because, I mean, I think we would knock on him back when he was pretty effective, because I think there might have been some other pieces that weren't in place, but I don't feel like Ndombele has become, like, the true replacement for that center of the field.
I don't get that.
The forwards.
When I see Ndombele play, I'm like, damn, I wish we'd have bought him. Like, so the fact that he's in and out so much, I don't get. I don't get what's falling up. Listen, there's something else going on at Spurs. I don't know what it is.
It must be some back management stuff, upper level stuff.
Some operation stuff. But they have a team. I watch all the top six every week and other games, right? Yeah. And then you compare quality of players, and then you get to see 6 teams from other parts of the table play those 6 teams, and then you can, like, measure the quality of players. And Spurs is right up there, and they have depth,
Oh yeah, totally.
So I don't get it, like, and I get it's been 6 years. He's been there since 2014. Something like that. So maybe they're tired, but they're saying, all right, maybe he needs to this group has gone as far as they can go. Well, last year they said that kind of before, and last year they went to the Champions League final, and now they added more people. So like I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I think there must be something going on because I mean the quality and the depth, like you said, is so deep. They're plagued with injuries, and yet they still have a fantastic team to field and with subs.
Right, and they're good at bringing up youth. Mm-hmm. So, it's not they've really are on a bad run. Like I'm gonna let me look at the table. Let me see.
Yeah, they're not top 6.
Let me see where they are. This is crazy because now we're 7th, which is like last week we were like 14th. Manchester United.
Well, I think they're
11th now. But to be 7th after one game win.
Well, the if you notice, like between 6th or 7th and 14th is a 3-point difference.
Yeah. But it's still a huge leap that we needed.
Yeah.
That we needed. Let me go.
And and you see if they maintain it for another week.
No, we won't. Not at all. No.
Ever the optimist.
Yeah, man. Just being real, baby. Just being real. So this game was played on Friday. Leicester versus Southampton.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know Leicester played.
we know Leicester played. Southampton. I think a bunch of Southampton fans put on Southampton uniforms and got the best seats in the house to actually touch Leicester players as they went by.
This is how we know the VR experience is not going to go as far as we think it's going to go. It's like, you think you can play?
Yeah, so you think you can play.
All right, we'll throw you in. Oh, man, you got beat 30-0. How's it feel?
Listen, man, if Southampton's desire was to alienate their fans and to get booed, and that was their game plan, they definitely achieved it.
Yeah, I sent our friend Lee Hudson. I sent him a condolences message like a member of his family had died.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
I was like, dude, I am so sorry.
I mean, if you ever had a chance to get out of a team, because if the team is getting out of you, the team is breaking up with you at 9-0. So you should just break up too. Like, don't stalk the team and go back to it grounds and buy tickets to see it.
Start seeing other teams.
Start seeing other teams, bro. Yeah. Start seeing other teams. But this was, and I should have checked before the game to see if the coaches. Does this coach still have his job?
As far
who's the house of
Hasenhuttl.
Yeah.
I have not heard anything about him losing his job, but he was definitely in question before because Southampton was dealing with some real trouble beforehand. And now this is a really
because before you could blame a score on this, like they sold some players.
Yeah,
but they didn't.
No, I think they did talk about how they didn't have much luck in the transfer window. Like they didn't pick up like some of those people that they would eventually sell. You know what I mean?
We didn't pick up nothing to sell.
Yeah, they didn't pick up anybody to like shine for a little while and then end up selling to Liverpool or Man U. But man, it's there was something that just seemed to turn off, and it doesn't help when you lose when someone gets ejected 12 minutes in. I mean, that guy probably. I think he was.
They were already down by 2 goals by the 17th minute. Fans have started booing. Fans started exiting. This is how much the fans are done. 17 minutes in, the fans have started exiting. They're not even like, oh, we're gonna come back.
Right.
No, they're like, no, we're not coming back.
Yeah, man.
And you're leaving against Leicester, which is not even in the top 6. They're in it, but you're like, we have to see how the season goes to see if this is a legit top 6 team.
Yeah.
This is the year that they could be. And the fans are like, we're leaving like they're playing Liverpool.
Yeah, they're having another good year this year, but man, they are they really took it to Southampton. But they got 1 goal in before Bertrand got ejected, but the goals just kept coming.
Yeah.
Perez and Vardy both got hat tricks.
Jose Perez
hadn't
hadn't scored a goal since he joined Leicester for that big transfer from Newcastle.
Right.
And he got a hat trick.
Man.
And then Vardy has scored more goals or just as much goals as the leading scorer in the Premiership since what's his name took over. I forgot his name.
Brendan Rodgers.
Brendan Rodgers took over. So he scored like 17 goals.
Crazy.
From last season when Brendan Rodgers took over to now. And which is crazy because who was the coach? Marco Silva or who was the vampire, the French Puel.
Yeah,
I think Puel was the vampire. Puel was the coach. The French vampire Puel was the coach who did some good things, but one of the bad things he did was bench Vardy because he's like, Vardy's time is done. But to see that, like, what a mistake that was. I
mean, Vardy also, whenever I see him play, he always plays like he has something to prove, like someone.
Now he does for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he plays like someone killed his family or told him that he would never be anybody ever. And he's just, whoever he's chasing, he's scoring a lot of goals against.
He's chasing demons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and his touch on some of his goals were so world class.
Unbelievable.
Like, sometimes this guy has these world class finishes.
Yeah.
And it like his finishes is like he has to be isolated in a position on the field by himself, get the ball, and he'll take it from there.
Yep.
You know, and he's just a little like, you know, he's had an amazing career. He's one of those players you'll never forget. Like 10 years from now, if you say Jamie Vardy, like some players, I'm like, oh, who is that guy? I heard that name sounds familiar. This guy, I'll be like, I'll remember some of his goals.
Oh yeah,
and I'll remember how he played. And it's great to see him, man. It's great to see him. And the other young guys, Tielemans keeps scoring.
Tielemans is great. I didn't realize how young that dude was.
Yeah, man.
He is so young and so good at like just those perfectly weighted passes, kind of like what Iniesta would do, kind of what David Silva does at Man City. He's doing that now, which is it's very exciting to watch.
And James Maddison scored a free kick, but fuck his free kick, which was beautiful. It's the slide. That slide.
It was raining hard.
Yeah, like you could have caught a ride home on that slide. Like he slid so long, like that commercial they had on during the World Cup.
Oh yeah, the guy
slide. Yeah. Like it was like a magic carpet slide. Man.
Yeah,
that motherfucker just kept going. People jumped on his back, and they should have just went through the tunnel.
Yeah, just ride that momentum.
Yeah, some of the Southampton players should have jumped on the back of that and just got dropped off in their dressing room because that was a long slide. And so this was they tied. I'm trying to see what record they broke. This is the biggest away win in Premier League history.
Yeah,
right.
I think there was a home victory of the same score.
Yes,
before it might have been Man United.
So they tied the biggest win in Premier League history, but this is the biggest away win in Premier League history. Even though it looked like Southampton was a team that was away. The way they played, and they were definitely away. And Leicester scored a goal for each man on the field for Southampton.
Yep.
Yeah, because Southampton had 9 players on the field.
Yeah, each of you is to blame for one of these goals.
You didn't get one yet? Yours is coming. Ward Prowse, yours is coming. You're gonna get yours too. Yeah.
Come on, Ings.
Come on, Ings. Come get yours. Come get your goal. Manchester United versus Norwich. Manchester United 3, Norwich 1, and we won this game. Manchester United. In spite of yourselves. In spite of ourselves. In spite of our fucking selves. So there's some things about this game I like, and I don't want people. When we lose, people get carried away, and when we win, people get carried away. Yeah. And I like to. There isn't really a happy medium quite yet. Yeah. Like for me, it's like, hey, man, we won, but I still say, what are we doing in practice? Mm-hmm. Like, what? It ain't PKs. It ain't practicing set pieces or free kicks or penalties, and which we should be. Mm-hmm. You know, like we had let me see how many corners we had in this fucking game. Like, and I'm blatantly ignoring the penalties right now. Yeah, no, because I remember there was that issue about who's supposed to take PKs, and there was an argument between Rashford and Pogba.
Is Pogba still injured?
Yeah, he's still injured. He might be out till December.
Okay, so now there isn't really a discussion about who takes him, but
because none of them can take him.
Right, and Rashford decides maybe I'll give it another go. He misses. Okay, we'll try with Martial, and yeah, who do you go with now? I mean, do you go? Does De Gea take him now?
Yes, yeah.
He's got the foot.
Yeah, he knows a little thing about how to be the keeper because he's a goalkeeper. But that's the thing. It's like, come on, man, you guys can't be practicing.
Yeah,
you guys can't be practicing. But here's another thing to just throw in is that Krul, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, testament to him.
He's a penalty specialist. During the World Cup, I forgot what team he plays on. I think he's Dutch.
I believe he is, yeah.
They brought him in during penalty kicks. They subbed out the goalkeeper for the extra time penalty kicks.
I feel like I remember this.
So you remember that. Yeah.
I think because I think Silason's the starting keeper.
Right.
But he was pretty young, and then they brought in Krul. Okay.
So this is a thing that he's good at, period. You know what I mean?
He just reads them. He read both of these super well.
Yeah. And they were easy to read because they were not well taken penalties at all.
That's true. I mean, it's something that Man U needs to work on, but it is also a testament to Krul. He's very good at what he does.
Yeah. So I do want to bring that up too. Like Krul is good, but we have to be better because shit like this could have been easily a game that we lost. You know,
if you're not careful. I mean, you guys are playing Norwich at home. I mean, Norwich's fan base is really strong, and Pukki
they're a good team.
And Pukki hasn't been terribly effective lately.
Right,
I mean, he had like a kind of this really nice start.
Right.
He scored like 5 goals in 2 or 3 games, but then, and he's got some good people behind him, people like Cantwell and
Buendia.
Yeah, so he's got people that can feed it to him and people who can take shots. But I think they've kind of realized, oh, this is really where we're at. We need to reassess.
Yeah, you get worn down. You play a lot of good teams.
Yeah,
and you have some losses and a funk climbs over you because if you're a championship team that just got promoted, you're used to winning. So there's a psychological thing too.
Yeah.
A lot of close losses kind of fuck you up mentally. So they're dealing with shit. And then this one, so this game could have been a blowout. It's 3-1, but it could have been a blowout. And Man U could have easily lost this game. But I think so. The 3 goals that were scored were an example. They were beautiful, and they were an example of what we could be. And Martial being out, so my thing is, what are we learning in practice? Because we don't look cohesive. But it also, Martial coming back, there was some cohesion. So we've missed a lot of key players. Like Pogba's out, Martial's out, right? So I want us to take what we've learned from these injuries. So now I know that Rashford and Martial have a great or potentially great offensive language that they speak that can be beautiful and are very expressive. Like the Martial goal was like one of the best goals of the week.
Yeah,
and
made it look easy.
Made it look easy, but it's like, and it's the genius touch, you know. And we've always had problems, and we needed a right-sided midfielder to cross over the ball. And I think one thing Ollie's learned is that put Pereira in the middle, which Pereira is in the middle now. James is on the right, because I've seen James in the beginning of the season start on the left. Rashford is on the left now, and the cross from James to Rashford for the goal after Rashford missed a penalty. That's beautiful football.
Yeah,
that was like so you want to see. So if we can stay uninjured, and then Fred, he had one decent game against Liverpool, but was just terrible again. Like, he should just start the game on the ground, because that's where he's going to end up. This motherfucker cannot stand up to anybody. He just gives away the ball. He panics like a chicken out there. I don't know, like, Fred is just but when Pogba comes back, I would do 2 things. McTominay is fine. He scored.
Yeah.
we should remain off. I'm just trying to keep us offensive. McTominay should stay where he's at. Tuanzebe, who's a defender, which we don't start all the time in defense.
Right.
Put him holding. Give him Fred's job or keep Fred there. But don't put Pogba back there.
Right.
Put Pogba where Pereira is, or move Pereira back to where Fred is.
Yeah, so have Pogba be the offensive center midfielder.
They play like in the 10 position to feed James, Marshall, Rashford, so that we can have an offensive spear and we can have a chance to get more points. Because we're losing games by 1 goal. So we need more than 1.
Yeah.
And we'll win. Like, we have a strong defense. And then hopefully Shaw will be back soon so we can get Young out of there, or he'll start trusting, where's these young, like, what's the name of this guy? Brandon Williams. I think he's a back.
Okay.
A young back. So maybe we'll start trusting him. But, yeah, it didn't look bad. The goals we scored were good, but we still gave up the ball a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, they took care of business, in spite of the hiccups in play.
Right.
And issues with set pieces. James is really, he seems to understand what he's supposed to be doing now, and he seems to be he keeps pushing, which is pretty cool considering how young he is.
He still does some young shit, but it's fine. Did you see the penalty that he earned? That I don't know if that's the penalty that Marshall missed or Rashford missed. We missed so many, but I do think it was a penalty.
Yeah, I'm trying to...
It was kind of similar to Mane's, where he stepped in front of the ball. He got between the player and the ball, and the player hit him down from behind. And the ref didn't call it, and they kept on playing, but then VAR hit him up. VAR sent him hit up the referee, said, hey, man, we're reviewing that last play.
VAR slid into his DMs.
Yeah, VAR slid into the ref's DMs and was like, yo, something's up. We're going to review. So rude. Who is that anyway? Hello?
I don't know.
I think that was Chelsea. Who's that? Kelsey. What up, Kelsey? That's what I thought. How you doing? What's up? It's all good. Kelsey Cook interrupting us. Rude as shit. It's hilarious.
So what game's next?
I'm trying to figure out what did I have down as like the next hotspot issue thing game. Because the next, so it's Leicester, Southampton, Manchester Storage. Do we want to talk? Let me figure this out. Do we want to talk Man City versus Villa?
Yeah, I mean,
because there's an issue in there.
What's your issue?
So Man City beats Villa 3-0, but the second goal. So Man City, I wish we could show footage, but we don't want to get blurred out.
Yeah.
So Man City on the second goal, De Bruyne kicks the ball in. Right. David Silva and Sterling are onside when De Bruyne curls it in. Right. Now, if none of them touch the ball, and if the ball goes in the back of the net, but if none of them touch the ball, then it's not an offside goal.
Right.
But if Silva, who claims he touched the ball and claims the goal, touches the ball, then Sterling obstructed the goalkeeper's view.
I see.
And the goal should be offside. So the ref on the field kind of gave the goal to De Bruyne.
I see. So assuming that no one had touched it.
But right in front of the ref's face, the ref David Silva's like, that's my goal. And he took the celebration of it, which would make Sterling offside.
Right.
And when you look at VAR, it's hard to tell. But I think
it's really close.
It's really close. So the second goal is the issue. And they're like, hey, and they eventually they credited the goal to Silva, which if you did, then it's not a goal.
Right.
Because it's an obstruction. Sterling obstructed the keeper.
Yeah.
So
it's a hard thing because...
So VAR is like, every week, VAR, the guys that run VAR are not doing VAR any favor. We need some new people running VAR, like people with good eyes or good sense of grounded judgment or something.
I think it's messy. I think this is the first year that the Premier League's using it, and I think it's just going to be messy.
It's funny, yeah.
I'm not saying I'm like happy that this is how it turned out, but
You are. You sound like it.
I'm just saying, like, they've chosen to do this, and so they're owning it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they also need to own that it's going to be messy, and I don't know if they know how to recover from those messy moments. But I think they got to figure out what they're going to do.
Here's the issue. Like, the VAR exists because 5 times a season, something would happen and make you wish you had something like VAR.
Yeah. I think and eventually they gave into that.
And they gave into it. Now, 5 times a week, VAR causes more controversy than the 5 times a year without VAR.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
and I was like, you don't have to check every goal. You should only check the goals where there's something in question. So they're checking every goal. Like, referees used to know when a goal was a goal, right?
Now it's a committee.
Now, so that ability as a ref still exists to be like, oh, that's a goal. There are some questionable ones. So I don't think you should check every goal. You should check the ones where there's definitely something in doubt.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is, like, I think they rule it a goal and then they wait, but they still have to wait for VAR to say, like, okay.
But don't check every goal. Just check the ones that you would check if there was no VAR.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of all the goals.
I think it's already starting to happen. I think players are starting to play with the understanding that VAR is a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're adapting to the fact that, hey, you may not have noticed this subtle thing, ref, that happened, but I got my shirt pulled, 50 yards back.
Players aren't helping either.
Yeah, no, I think they're gonna. It's just everyone's adapting to it. And
ref, that goal doesn't count. Last week against another team, this other guy breathed on me. So this week in this game, this goal doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah. Players do not help.
Yeah, the players are just trying to get every advantage that they can, and this is another piece of their tool belt.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, if they call back that goal, do you think Villa could have gotten back on them?
Nah, because they scored. Man City is still Man City.
Yeah.
And Man City would have won 2-0 because they scored another goal after.
Right. Yeah.
And they would have won 1-0.
I'm not saying that, like, that's the mentality you got to go with, but, like, in this particular case.
Yeah, against another opponent, that goal might have mattered more.
Sure.
But not against City. And like, listen, I love Villa. I love watching them play. They're exciting.
They are exciting.
And Grealish, I
like McGinn.
McGinn, like they're going for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny to see the palpable difference, like, between, like, I've watched these teams play other teams, right? And I've watched most Villa games this year, and I'm like, this is a great engine room of a midfield they got here. These guys are creative, they are defensive, and they pass well, they run hard.
Yeah.
But in this game, I saw how much more relentless Man City is.
Yeah.
Like Villa couldn't keep up with them, and City broke them. And like, okay, let's all go hard let's see how many miles we can all get on the same tank of gas. And
Right.
City can get way more miles.
Way more efficient.
Way more efficient, way more used to this, way more rugged, way more determined. And this is a learning thing. Like, when they watch this game, Villa will be able to identify the moment that they were broken by City and see how much they have to learn to get to the gritty strength. Like, all the finesse players from City, like, work hard. Silva, Jesus.
Yeah.
Sterling, Gundogan had such a great game. Like he's replacing Fernandinho in the middle, and Fernandinho. Now the only thing with City is they lost Fernandinho for like a game or two because he got 2 yellows equal a red. So
okay.
So now their defense is in crisis. John Stones is out there giving away balls. So now John Stones is going to be out there. I think Otamendi So there's a great opportunity for whoever's playing City next week to take some points and for Liverpool to go even further ahead. Yeah. And then something I did forget to mention is like the points that both City and Liverpool have, the value of Liverpool points is more because they've played more top teams than City. And now City has lost Fernandinho in defense for like a game or two.
Yeah. No, it's City has had an easier schedule.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much losing Emerick Laporte
he's good.
Has had on that team.
Mm-hmm.
You did, of all the people that I think could have been considered the linchpin, I never thought it would be him.
Oh yeah? Why not?
I don't know. I always thought it was like more like Silva or someone playing more center mid. Like I thought they would be more handicapped when they didn't have De Bruyne on the field for that that spell that they lost him.
Right. Yeah, because Bernardo Silva came on.
Right.
Sterling improved. Sane is still there. Like I
haven't seen Sane.
Like you forgot about Sane, but Sane is still there. He could start on any team in the league.
Right.
Like, but they're defenders. Mm-hmm. Like Laporte was their best one. They got backs. They got Canelo. I think that's how you say his name. Cancelo. Like they might have to just like unfairly, Walker is being left out because they want to get Cancelo up to speed to take over for him eventually because they feel Walker's old. But Walker has done nothing wrong.
Right.
So they might have to just Mendy's back.
Okay.
So they just have to make some of them backs play center.
Yeah.
And they might do better anyway. That's what they should just do. Stones makes too many mistakes.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that difficult to adapt someone from the wing back to the center back.
Yeah. Or just play 3, just do 3 at the back.
Yeah, I don't know if Pep wants to do that, but I think
he kind of did it before.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to make adjustments for your injuries if you're a coach, Yeah. Bournemouth, Watford. There's not much to say about this game except I'm trying to remember the score. It was Bournemouth, Watford was 0-0. That's it.
Kudos to Watford for keeping a clean sheet.
Yeah.
I know that's not an easy ask for them these days.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Yeah, it's amazing, it's amazing how much Troy Deeney matters to that team. He's been gone for many weeks now, and that guy is, he was the reason why that Watford team last year was so good.
The fattest guy.
Yeah,
it's the heart, the meat and potatoes.
He's built like a refrigerator, but
yeah, that's what everybody would open the door and feed out of. There's no, yeah.
But yeah, man, that guy knew how to score. He knew how to. He and Dale Lefeu would work so well together last year, and now they don't. That major piece is missing, and without him, those guys are just. It doesn't feel like a team. It feels like 11 players that just kind of kick the ball around together.
Right. Yeah, Watford definitely has lost a lot, and I guess you can attribute a lot of it to Troy Deeney.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
I mean, are they missing anyone else that they haven't had in a while? It's like I feel like Deeney's the guy.
Right. And then I don't even know how old he is, but yeah, it definitely I feel like that coach who was just hired, like I've been talking about him getting fired for weeks, so I should have checked before the show to see if he's fired.
Yeah, I mean they got rid of Javi Gracia.
Brought Kiki back. Is it Kiki? Yeah.
I think so.
So shit ain't going so great.
Yeah, I mean they're bottom of the table. They haven't won a game yet.
Yep. Only team to not win a game. But the good thing is they didn't lose this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe there's I don't have a whole lot of hope for Watford, but maybe there's a way for them to fight.
Yeah, who knew that? Who knew that Newcastle, of all the teams that they mentioned at the beginning of the season being at the bottom, and Newcastle's like, not us, not today.
No, not today at all.
Not today.
Newcastle's, they're not killing it right now, but they're figuring out what they can do.
Yeah, they're doing something like Bruce. There's a reason you hire Steve Bruce.
Yeah, one of those rotating coaches that coaches a different team every year or two.
Yeah, exactly. Right now they're in 17th. Let's see if they can keep it up. We didn't talk about you guys yet.
No, not yet.
Chelsea Burnley.
Ah, that was fun.
Fun, right?
Yeah. I'm glad that Chelsea has this really amazing away form lately. They've
4 in a row on the road.
Yeah, they've played really well.
7 overall or something like that.
And finally Pulisic got to show what he was able to do. He had the platform to do it. And Burnley's not the greatest side, but Burnley puts up a fight. Burnley's got some goals in, although late,
which is a problem that
Burnley
Chelsea
needs to score.
Exhibits
it wasn't. I mean, it's good that they had 4 goals scored before they got a couple scored back on them, but Burnley is, I think, most dangerous when they can score early.
Yeah. Then they can just hunker down.
Yeah, it's like, let's get 1 goal in. Let's really batten down the hatches. But
1 goal, we got it. We're good.
Let's hold on to this one.
A forward, you're now a defender.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But Pulisic, Pulisic's first 2 goals were not the easiest goals to score, and I also don't think that he could have planned them quite that way. I mean, the first one was with the left foot, goes through the defender's legs, happens to get past the keeper. Second one was a deflection that was very favorable to him.
Right.
Keeper's already committed, caught flat-footed.
But he scored those goals like how he plays.
Yeah, it's finesse.
Like finesse and determination.
Yeah.
Like when I see him play for the U.S., I was like, who? The first time I saw him play for the U.S., I said, who the fuck is that guy? Like his determination. Yeah, who's that guy trying above everybody on the field, which is his natural state of play.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's attractive. Like, oh shit, this motherfucker's trying. He's working hard, but positively. Like he's not one of those people that's working hard to the point where you lose the ball. Like he knows when to pass, when to hold, when to go fast, and he has his speed and he uses it. I was really surprised when he started to get shut out of that Dortmund team, and when you guys bought him before you got banned, I was like, this is a great move for Chelsea, and I wish Man United had made that move. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I'm not surprised that he scored a hat trick. I'm glad that he did that, and I'm really optimistic for Chelsea, and I'm really jealous of Chelsea, of your depth. Like the last few games you've played without Conte, and I'm like, even how is he going to get back in this lineup? And he's the best in the world at his position.
Well, I mean, I think if we were talking another week, we'd be saying the exact opposite. How is Conte going to get out of this lineup, and how is Pulisic going to get into it? Because, for a while, everyone kept saying, well, Mason Mount's the guy. Pulisic's going to ride the bench most of the season, and he might. I mean, I think Lampard doesn't seem like someone who's very, he doesn't really. He seems very straightforward. He was like, all right, you're doing the work, you're going to go in. You're not doing the work, all right, you're going to sit on the bench. I don't think there's any
But they're all doing the work.
Yeah, I think they are doing the work, and I think
this is a beautiful.
This transfer ban has been, it may be a blessing in disguise, because I think
so.
It forces them to, it forces this creativity element where it's like, okay, we have to figure out how to make a team with the people we have. We can't buy anything.
But they have all the right pieces.
They do have the right pieces. I mean, but they've also, it's required these young guys to step up to the plate. Pulisic is super young. Mason Mount is super young.
But Pulisic
Tammy
played
Abraham
for Dortmund,
is super young.
And Tammy has the right amount of experience, from being loaned out.
Sure.
And this is the time for him. It's great to be an inexperienced player in the Premiership, but to have a midfield like this to support you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Kovacic was doing some amazing shit yesterday. Jorginho has redug in, and nobody's shitting on him like they were last year after they were in love with him in the beginning of the season.
Right.
And he's like, I'm watching this guy like defend really hard and be creative at the same time. And then I'm watching Willian like get out of any type of trouble. You try to press Willian. You try to press him and think 3 players are going to trap him and make him give up the ball. He did it a few times, give up the ball, but he'll score now and he'll get out of trouble. Like he's a fucking magician and he's having a year. You don't see Pedro because he's doing great. You don't see Giroud. Then you still have Conte to come back. They have so much depth, and then you have depth in defenders.
Yeah,
your best defender has played probably 1 game this season.
Who, Tomori?
No, Rudiger.
Yeah.
Rudiger. You have the discovery of Tomori, who was the player of the year at Derby.
Yeah.
You know, so you have Christensen. You have people. You know?
And we haven't even talked about like Hudson-Odoi or
right, Hudson-Odoi, who got a card for diving. Talking about he got pushed to get out of here, bro.
Yeah, no, it was ill-advised.
A bad Monty impression.
Yeah, ill-advised.
Yeah,
but it was. Yeah, there's a surprising amount of depth considering what people were so worried about.
Right. Alonso is playing better because he knows that he'll lose that job once the other guy comes back from injury.
If Emerson comes back and he's not playing well, Emerson will jump right back in there.
Yeah.
Because Emerson has proved he can do the job too.
Yeah, so Alonso is actually defending now.
Oh, Jesus, thank goodness.
And Spiliqueta had a nightmare beginning to the season, but he's like deserving his armband more now.
Yeah, no. For a minute, it felt like he was like a really old guy, kind of just trudging around the field.
Yeah.
He always seemed very exasperated. He looked like a dad with 4 kids, like, oh man, you gotta put all those motherfuckers in the minivan.
Sorry, I'm late. I had to drop the kids.
Yeah, like, no, it's okay. It's okay to say sorry. It's fine. It'll be fine. Yeah. So I'm optimistic, which is hasn't been a frequent thing as a Chelsea fan, but like I'm interested to see what they do. They got the nice win at Ajax, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And now they're going to host Ajax, next week. So, let's. I think they play Man City pretty soon. So,
yeah, you could beat them.
Yeah, we could. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I
mean, if anybody has a chance,
I am hopeful that they can rise to the occasion, or at least make it difficult for them.
Listen, man, you're only 2 points behind them in the table.
Yeah, it's I think they just got to, keep pushing. I'm not gonna.
You guys are.
I'm not gonna go in thinking with overconfidence or anything like that.
Yeah, you guys just have to.
I say it like I'm playing.
Yeah, you have to say it like that. That's how fans talk.
Yeah, I don't terribly like it very much, but like I was like, no, those guys have to keep a level head about it.
Yeah, I mean, like their coach is a guy that has a level head.
Yeah,
and because he played and he knows what this league is about, and he knows you can't get ahead of yourself and feel too good. He knows each game matters. He's won the league before, and he knows how much you have to dig in. To actually win this thing. Yeah. But at some point, like it's such a beautiful mix of youth and experience.
Yeah.
And this coach who's willing to make adjustments. Like he was talking about adjustments in a post-game interview that he's made, and like he's moved people around, and he can move them back.
Yeah.
From where they were originally too.
Yeah, what's nice about this year is that he's not, dead set on like this is how the game has to be played the way Sarri was. It's like with Sarri, it's like, all right, same starting lineup each game.
One trick pony.
Yeah, there was nothing up his sleeve.
Right.
With Lampard, it's like, all right, well, this is fine. We'll try something else tomorrow if it doesn't work today.
Right.
I like the malleability.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely a dangerous team. To me, they're better than Leicester, and right now they're better than Spurs.
Yeah, I think Chelsea is better than Leicester now. I think when they played each other earlier in the season, they were not. I think they were about equal.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why they got the tie.
Chelsea has more to learn than Leicester.
Yeah.
They both have a lot to learn and to grow. They're both growing into something.
Yeah.
But Chelsea probably has more potential to grow into something greater.
Yeah.
And so they have more to learn. But Leicester is doing an amazing job of learning. But I feel like their depth is kind of limited unless they got some tricks in their youth system or just on their bench that I don't know about. But they have a decent depth, but not like Chelsea.
No, not like Chelsea. But and we'll see what the injury game ends up being like.
Yeah.
Because that's always something.
Yeah. But I'm less worried about Chelsea when it comes to injury than Leicester. Like Chelsea's got a lot of depth. Definitely jealous of Chelsea. And this Crystal Palace Arsenal game. 2-2.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. David Luiz giveth and taketh away.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like people seem so excited for him to leave Chelsea and like, oh, he's coming to Arsenal. It's like, all right, he played pretty darn well over there, and now we got him. And then it's like, fuck, what happened?
Now you know why we gave him up.
Yeah, I mean, it's speaking of vampires, I mean, Unai Emery is
oh yeah.
I can't tell if he's gotten a wink of sleep in the last few weeks.
Why should he have?
I don't know. He should. He's hanging upside down every night, just racking his brain about how can we get this team to fucking work.
I mean, they've done terrible postseason business.
Yeah.
I mean, preseason business. There's definitely everybody in the world, aliens, people outside of the world knows what Arsenal needed before the season started.
Yeah.
And they never got it. They got the complete opposite of what they needed. And so their results are still indicative of what they lack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so hard. Like, because I mean, Nicola Pepe, he's starting to come through now. He pulled out that win for them in Vitoria, and they're fifth. They're fifth in the league.
It's not that bad. It's still early.
No, it's not that bad. Like, it's amazing. Like,
you didn't expect to win the league this year, right? And that's another question. It's like, what were Arsenal like? I know what Man U was told at the beginning of the season for the first time in a long time. Like, we're rebuilding. We're going to buy the youth. So we're actually doing that, even if we don't have the greatest results right now. What were Arsenal fans told, or compared to what did they expect for the season? Because I feel like Arsenal fans are expecting to win. And I'm like, if you guys are expecting to win, you guys are on drugs. Because so what did the head people, does at the beginning of the year, do you make a proclamation about the team, about where the team is and where they expect to go and how they're going to try to get there? And I feel like just like how Xhaka is to the team, he's their captain, right. And the players feel like he's their captain, but the fans like, heck no. It's the same thing with like they're on opposite sides of whatever this plan and expectation is for the season.
Yeah, well, I mean, they keep saying, if they were sold the bill of goods that said like, hey, we're gonna take it to them, we're gonna win. It's like, then why are Lacazette and Ozil on the bench? I mean, like, I know those guys are not the youngest people on the team.
You better get everything you can get out of Ozil now.
Yeah, I mean, because where is he going to be next season? I doubt it's going to be at Arsenal.
Rich.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. They have this weird Alexis Sanchez issue, but with a guy who could actually do them some good.
Right, because you don't want.
Homie knows how to distribute.
Well, listen, you're saying this guy doesn't work for you defensively, but your defense and your midfield is not working for you defensively. So when other teams score on you and he's not on the field, you can't blame this guy no more. Like, so is Ozil that much of a liability when he's on the field compared to the people you have in defense and the people who are definitely supposed to be your defensive midfield? Like Xhaka, he's just not the one. And for him to be captain, that shit is just weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, if Ozil's not playing and you don't want Xhaka to be the guy who's captaining the team, who do you think it goes to?
It's not even a matter of captain. It's a matter of who's Xhaka's job is defensive midfielder.
Right.
It feels like. And he's not that good of a defensive midfielder. And you don't have anybody else who's that good of a defensive midfielder. And then your defense is bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You let Crystal Palace come from 2 down in your home. Yeah. It's Crystal Palace. They almost got relegated last year, and they sold one of their best players. So what the fuck are they doing threatening? And then they showed on Match of the Day how the midfield of Arsenal was so soft, and it let Crystal Palace back into the game to the point where the fans were booing Xhaka when he was substituted. The coach had to substitute his captain because he wasn't leading. Yeah. He wasn't stepping up, and when he's coming off, the fans were booing him, and then Xhaka came off the field and took his jersey off and went down the tunnel to insult the fans back, and he was like, "Oh, okay, boo me." So, wow, it's a mess.
Yeah, it's but how much is it Arsenal's fault, and how much is it Crystal Palace's triumph? They're just they got this nice groove going because they're right behind Arsenal in 6th.
Yeah.
What are they doing right?
They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? So good for them.
They're taking care of business.
They're taking care of business. It's a group that's been together for a while.
Yeah, they got Zaha, they got Ayew.
Right.
They've got some good players in there.
Yeah. And it's so funny. Zaha wanted to get sold, but the team he would probably got sold to would have been below them in the table.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were talking about maybe getting him, going to a place like Man U or something.
Or Arsenal.
Yeah, or Arsenal. It's
no, you don't need to be at Arsenal.
Yeah, it's maybe he's doing the right thing staying.
Yeah.
I mean, Milivojevic is such an incredible place kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, penalties. He even takes great, spot kicks from other spots.
Right.
I think Van Aanholt, he makes some mistakes, but he's been a good wing back for them for a long time.
Right.
And I think they've had some issues with having a consistent goalkeeper. And then they have Guaita for a while, and then sometimes they have Hennessy. It's
I don't trust any keeper named Hennessy. just FYI.
He's something about him's off.
Yeah.
He seems wobbly.
Yeah. Wobbly Hennessy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that is too alcoholic of a surname for me. That's all I'm saying.
Well, he's getting subs out for Peter Cognac.
Yeah. It's what's up with these keepers' names? Remy?
Yeah.
You got Remy Martin is your
next thing
third backup?
Tanqueray, I think, could be the name of a real keeper.
Yeah.
Next thing we find out, Kasper Schmeichel is a name for some awful vodka in Denmark. Yeah, so I hesitate to say it's all, poo-pooing Arsenal and maybe Crystal Palace just did something right. Maybe they just hunkered down and
they exploited the things that Arsenal should have fixed in the offseason.
Yeah,
they exploited, and so and good for them for coming back 2-0 down but then there was a controversy on the Chambers, not the Chambers goal, but Socrates scored again.
Yeah.
And I watched the replay a few times. They took the goal away. They said Chambers fouled a defender. But
he was trying to go back to was he trying to go back to block it, or was he?
He was trying to win the ball. And he had it, then he kind of lost it. He was trying to win it, but they say he tripped a guy, but the guy behind him, who was a Crystal Palace player, tripped him. So I just think that there should have been no call, and the goal should have stood. And then Arsenal would have won the game, and then this whole situation would be kind of different. But
that's true.
It's not. And they VAR agreed with. I think the ref let the play go, and then VAR was because the ref didn't call it off. So I think this was a VAR. This is where VAR opened up its big mouth.
Yeah.
And found something that nobody would have saw.
Okay.
Or anybody would have thought was a real significant thing to pull that goal off. So VAR, again, it's almost like they're doing shit on purpose to destroy VAR and make it and get rid of it next year. I say it doesn't work.
Yeah, give it a bad name.
Because this thing should obviously work. And for some reason, it's not working.
Yeah, I think we also notice it a lot more when it doesn't work, but I think there's been plenty of times where it does work.
Yeah, but there's a lot of times, like this goal should have stood.
Huh.
And when you do that, I don't know, that this goal should have stood.
I gotta take another look at that goal. I'm not recalling it super well.
Even the commentators are like, yeah, I don't get why this was pulled back.
Yeah.
Huh. This is why Emery ain't getting no sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you shouldn't be writing the entire, your entire strategy of the game on that one play. I mean, I think the fact that they let those 2 goals in from Crystal Palace, is probably a bigger issue that they can themselves take care of. They can work on that. They can't work on the odd call taking a goal back, but they can worry about okay, how do we defend when we're 2 goals up?
They just have no metal. They just have no steel in the middle and in their defense.
Yeah.
They hired the exact type of defender in David DeLuise that they don't need. Like the one that has lapses, he can do some positive things for you, but when you need a Van Dijk-like defender.
Someone who's really solid. Someone
that's super solid when you're Arsenal, not someone that has defensive narcolepsy sometimes. You know what I'm saying? In the middle of every game. And that can cost you. That motherfucker dozes off. He would not be my Uber driver. Yeah.
Who's this Kenny G looking motherfucker?
Yeah.
In my Uber.
Yeah. So next week, I'm just going to run through who plays who next week. Aston Villa versus Liverpool. Liverpool's at the top of the table, and Villa's got another tough one. They just played City. So I feel bad for my boy Lloyd.
Yeah, tough couple weeks, man.
Tough couple weeks. Yeah. So, and even though it's at Villa, I'm still betting on Liverpool for this one. Man City, who are second, they play Southampton. So Southampton, if you think it was bad against Leicester,
what I want them to,
and you're going to Man City.
Man, what if they just come out guns blazing and they get some shit done?
Southampton?
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? I know it's probably not going to happen, but
I see you staring off into daydream land when you say that, and that's the only place that could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want it to be a good game.
They'll probably come out more defensive. So I think Southampton had a go at Leicester.
Right.
And they'll have less of a go at Man City. And they opened themselves up against Leicester. And Leicester is better than they expected.
Fair
and
enough.
They found out. And they lost the man. Next week, Leicester plays Crystal Palace. So that's going to be very interesting. Watford plays Chelsea. Chelsea scores a lot of goals, and
Watford doesn't.
And Watford doesn't. So Chelsea's on a hot streak. So I'm gonna go with Chelsea. Arsenal plays Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves could, a tie here is a loss for Arsenal. Fans are just, at Arsenal fans are more pissed at Emery than they kind of should be, because they're projecting the years of no titles with Wenger on him.
Yeah.
So he's not getting a fair.
They make him feel like he's more of the same.
Like he's done more damage than he's actually done.
Yeah, I mean he also inherited this.
He inherited this, but he didn't. I don't know whose fault it is. In the off season, he didn't help correct the team. Yeah,
the back office could have made other better decisions.
You bought Pepe, and now Lacazette, who was doing good for you, doesn't play as much. Ozil, there's just a money. It's like when you look on the bench, it's like you just see Ozil sitting on the bench. It's like you're lighting a money tree on fire. You know what I mean? while the game is going on and you're struggling. It's like, why isn't that money on the field playing for us, trying to get goals for us? Yeah. And so, yeah. Crystal Palace, Leicester.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah. So that's going to be a good one for next week. And Bournemouth versus Man U. We go to Bournemouth and, man, let's see.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy, but that's a game.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say we should win this. We're rebuilding. And I'm not going to. A lot of Man U fans want to rebuild and win at the same time.
Yeah, no, they want to have their cake and eat it too.
And it's just not how life works.
No.
You rebuild.
Yep.
But I just want to see some positive, more cohesive play.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to get the points, but I just want to look better than we've been looking. Like I told my friend, like, we are the most expensive pub team I've ever seen. Man United. If you want to see the most expensive pub team in the history of football play,
yeah,
check out Man United.
Yeah, man. I think they got the money behind them. I think whenever they figure out this growing pain that they're going through, I'm sure they're going to be great again. And as I'm not jazzed that will happen as a Chelsea fan, I'm gonna enjoy my time now, and
I think you got a lot of time to enjoy in the future.
Yeah, I think so, but they also have to decide how long do they want to keep Solskjaer around? Do they want to they made him the permanent coach, but how long are they really going to keep him?
I mean, we'll see. If he wins this game, he buys himself more time.
Yeah,
and more players come back from injury. Shaw comes back. Yeah. Wan-Bissaka's been doing an amazing job of tackling.
Yeah, he's a good defender.
He's a good defender. So, and the funny thing is, I keep hearing rumors of buying more defenders, and it's like crazy to me. We need attacking midfielders. We need creative people. What are we doing talking about? And we need a good holding like an Ndombele or a Conte or somebody to be in our midfield.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know why the rumors in England are still Koulibaly and just other defenders. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I heard rumors about
Koulibaly.
Not Koulibaly, but about them buying Mandzukic from Juventus.
I heard that. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he could be. I mean, he's a powerful striker. I mean, he's on the older end, but I mean, like, that guy knows how to score goals.
It's not. I've heard that rumor too, and it terrifies me.
Yeah,
it's like Halloween to me. It's the scariest thing. Yeah.
They also talked about another rumor I heard was that eventually, Mbappe is going to have to move to somewhere that's not Ligue 1, and maybe going to the Premier League and bringing back glory to a place like Man U.
That would be great. But
he also has to because I mean, I think if he were to go to Madrid or to go to Barcelona, I mean, he might play.
No, he'd play. He'd start.
But I mean, he also have to fit in. He also have to be able to work with the players.
He'd definitely start at Madrid.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Like, all he has to replace is
Benzema
or Bale, or he's better than those guys right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though seeing him playing in the French league, I just think he's better than those guys right now, and they have the support around him to get him the goals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we talked about Sheffield United, but they tied with West Ham this week. They're doing their thing. They're getting points. They're number 8 promoted team. Number 8. This guy, this coach, the way they play. It's like that's pretty impressive.
They're getting the work done.
They're getting the work done. And then we talked about Bournemouth is 9th. West Ham is 10th, and we just talked about they're going to play Newcastle. Newcastle, we didn't talk about them much, but they got another point. And, hey, man, this team doing things. Tottenham is 11th. And next week they play Everton.
Everton's had a rough go.
I mean, they won last week. And then this week, it's like, come on, bro. Who are you?
I don't know. I don't know if they know.
I think who they are is, I think they bought a bunch of players, right? Based on the good games that those players have played for the teams that they were on.
Yeah, like
not
Moise Kean and Iwobi
and the other guy from Arsenal.
Oh yeah, Welbeck.
Well,
no.
Well, also Welbeck and who they got from us, and what's the other?
Why am I forgetting?
Yeah.
It's
what? What's his name?
Theo Walcott.
Theo Walcott.
Oh yeah, they've had him for a little while.
But they buy a bunch of players based on their highlight reel performances. But if you don't buy a player based on the highlights of their career. Buy players based on how the consistency of their career.
Yeah, the day to day.
So when you add a bunch of players based on the highlights of their career, you have put together a complete inconsistent team, and that's how Everton plays inconsistently from week on, week off.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're going to get, but you're actually getting what you bought.
Right.
A bunch of inconsistent players, and as a coach, Marco Silva is kind of an inconsistent result-getting coach. So then it exactly what you bought is happening. So fine.
I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
Hey, Ian. Sorry to interrupt, but I kind of booked the next show at 7:30.
Oh, 7:30?
So we're a little over.
All right, cool. All right, so, shit. That's pretty much it, man. I'm just trying to find what the big game is for because I think it's, let me just find the fixtures real quick, and I'll just say whenever this kicks in. Oh, let me look for it here. The big game next week is because I think Everton, who is it?
I mean, honestly, it looks like it's Crystal Palace Leicester.
I thought there was a bigger game, like a top 6 clash, but I don't see anything.
It seems like they're all playing against, teams that are pretty manageable. I mean, you could argue Man U, Bournemouth could be a good game because those teams are close.
Right.
But I think between that and Crystal Palace, Leicester City, things are getting shaken up right now.
All right. So fuck it. That's it. You want to plug some stuff?
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Ian. Always a good time being here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stuart B. Thompson, StuartBThompson, or go to my website, stuartthompsoncomedy.com. And I'll be in Glendale, Arizona this weekend at Stir Crazy Comedy Club, featuring for Lisa Landry. Those shows are on November 1st and 2nd, so you can come see me out there. And you can also listen to my podcast, the Late Night Podcast with Stuart and Luke.
And for me, let me put my glasses on. Check me out on Instagram at Ian Edwards Comic. Also, I'll be at the Improv Shop at the Flyover Comedy Festival on November 9th. And then I'll be at Tommy T's Rancho.
Tommy T's?
Yeah, November 29th to December 1st. And one more, I'll be at the Comedy Palace on December 13th. And that's in San Diego. Yeah, you can get my album on my website it's ianedwardscomedian.com. It's 100% half-assed. Or check out my special, Bill Burr Presents Ian Talk, on Comedy Central. And also, congratulations to LAFC for winning El Tráfico.
Yes.
And beating the Galaxy in a playoff game. I haven't beaten them all week, but that was all season. But that was a game to beat them in. And they're playing Seattle Tuesday.
Yeah.
And Bob Bradley defended his player. People are shitting on him, but hey, fuck it, man. Do what you got to do, coach.
He's letting his dick swing a little.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thanks, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
And give it up for Aaron Brungard, the homie producer, doing his thing. You want to plug anything, Aaron? Good.
The next podcast that needs to come in here.
Yeah, get out of here. All right. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.